Hello everyone, this is Rosemary, and this is the second journal of the pair I showed you. As you can see, there's some similarities here, the book plate here that I made from a die cut. I added some lace here on the side. This one is sewn around. The spine has this lace, and you can thread I actually threaded it through the pamphlet stitch, but if you want to move it, I left some space there for if you want to change the muslin. I kind of got into this because I liked it, something that would match the tan and white napkin cover here. So I think it looks really pretty here. I used my Martha Stewart punch, and I used the avocado dyed paper, which I think it looks kind of pretty there, even though it's just a paper punch. So here we go. A little bit different. Sometimes I try to change things up. If you want to keep this stiff, you could probably put Mod Podge. So we open it, and here is, like I said in my last video, I was inspired by a couple of pockets by G.I. Kerr or G. Kerr. Anyway, so you open it, and you see the napkin decoupage over a gardening book page. And these are two tags. This is a printable. This is a napkin one that I made. And then when you open it, this has a hidden, and I call this book like Secret Gardens because of all the secret pockets. See how this one opens like this, and it flips down, and it flips down, and GI or G has a tutorial on this pocket, so I take no credit for this. She uses it more like a belly band, and but I thought it was so clever, so cool that I had to use it. So this was my first secret in this Secret Garden journal. The second one is you open this up. Here you see this window. It's one of my die cuts, and the scene is from a napkin. You open it up, and there's a journaling spot as well as another napkin. And I love, this is how I use up all my napkin scraps, is by making tags. So there's a nice little place to journal on. And the Secret Garden, I use my stamps. These are some Graphic 45, and again, this is the avocado stained, and you will see I have stitching, and if you want to cut all the threads off, you can. This is just, again, some avocado stained lace and some paper there, so that's, you can see they're decorated, but still plenty of journaling space, and a little bit of stenciling, some napkin. Another thing I like that she did some gessoing over coffee staining, so you can see the light gessoing, and then I did some stenciling, and it gives this page a little decoration, but still something to be done with this. And right here is one of my tucks that I like to do with the napkins, and again, two tags and the doily over music paper, and they just go in like that. I bought some stationery at a thrift store. That's one of my favorite kinds of papers to use, and here it is. And all I did was I put a hinge down the middle, and then I put a napkin decoupage. Same on the back, just a little touch, a little light stenciling, just so it doesn't look so plain. And here, this is some daffodils, like I said, one of the first plants to start blooming. And this is some leaf, I don't know, lace. And you can see the stitching around this one. And so anyway, and the reason there was stitching is this is some bias tape that I stained with my Distress Ink peeled paint. And I sewed, and I was just going to leave it this way. And again, these are some little punches I've had, and I made some little flowers, and this is that sparkly stuff, Stickles, I think. And I put it in, and I really think it added a lot to the page. I left this paper because, like I said, Secret Gardens, the book, the classic, and I decided I was just going to leave the paper because it's kind of sets the tone for that vintagey look. And then you can see I use my favorite Martha Stewart punch. Again, this is the avocado doily that's been stained with that, with a napkin. And you can see how dainty. This is a very soft, dainty book with a lot of space. And again, you open it, and here's another pocket, and I think Yvonne Preston has this, and she uses it a lot in her journals. So here again, some tags. Oh, there's 3 of them, 3 tags. This is what it looks without the tags, and you open it up. See my punching and distress ink right there, and you have a place to write your secret thoughts right there. So again, you fold it in, and it goes like this. And then, oops, yeah. And I put a little bit of stenciling because I thought it looked kind of plain there, just to add a little interest. And then one tag goes in there, and another one in the back, and then a journaling card, and that completes that page right there. Again, some of the stamping, and this is the swing poem. How do you like to go up in the sky, up in the air so high or so blue? Oh, I do think it's the pleasantest thing every child should do. And I put this with a book page. I have this journal of wildflowers that I put pages in. And here's another secret pocket that opens up all the way, and you can see, isn't this a lovely ink dyeing from the avocado? And the key is to let it simmer for about 2 to 4 hours. And here's a little booklet right here with some napkin and just some leftover pages for your added journaling pleasure. So there's the booklet, and again some stationery. Now stationery is usually very thin, it's almost like a very thin papery feel to it. See some little light designs there, very soft, and I just added some more of that avocado stained lace. And again, my dogs have decided to move in under the camera. And this is a card thinking of you, and I left the whole sentiment. I just thought it was pretty. And again, this is a little bit of sticker that my friend Mary Lou gave me. And again, some stenciling, very subtle but decorated. And again, some stamping, napkin, and this vine. And then more of that avocado stained paper, which I just tend to let it speak for itself, all the lovely shades. Here's a bag, and in here I have a little picture, you know, like I said, Secret Garden Secrets, and so there it is. And here's my napkin. I love this napkin, and it is a what do you call those? It's just a tuck spot. And you can see there's a paper clip there because it holds these in place. This is a new die cut I bought, and then some napkin right there. So again, 2 die cuts that I made, and there they go. They go in like this, and when you open it on this side, you will see some napkin. This is the embellished paper clip that I made from, my parents get a lot of mail from charities. And so I use a die cut and some punches and some lace, and this is my embellished paper clip. And it's really there to kind of hold the tuck in place, because sometimes the tags just kind of need a little bit more to keep it in there. So and I did the curling there. So there it goes with the napkin. And again, this is a stamp that goes from the Graphic 45. And you can see I use a wide variety of paper. This is like from a planner. And I like, it has some lines there, so I just lightly stencil. This paper is some onion skin, like typing paper, my friend Merlene gave me. And you can see how transparent it is. So I just put it in, and you can see I punched it. This is how thin it is. You see how you can see that stenciling right through it? So it just adds a little bit of interest to this. I only use one sheet in there. And here again, you see I was stitching a lot on this new napkin I bought, leftover pieces. This is what I say, and some stenciling. And this is all napkin and stamping, because that's how so all of these are, you know, made. And you come to this side, and this is some journaling paper I have. I do use it. And this is a pocket, and you can see it neat. This is a good place to journal, but it also has some light stenciling just so it's not so blank, so to speak. Here's one of the vintage ladies with her flowers, and here's another napkin decoupage, giant tag, and they go really nice together. And this is the center of the signature, and this is an embellished envelope on this side. It's been covered. I made the envelope from a book page, and I covered it with napkin. And it was from a gardening book, and this is the border of the napkin. And the reason I used it, it had this tree right here, and you can see the inside of the book page, gardening book page. Again, here's the other side with the stenciling, very similar. This is some paper Janie, my friend Janie, gave me, and some leftover scrap paper. Like I said, I try to use up everything, but I still have a big stash. And again, this is the repeat of the pocket. And again, another little booklet, flip up, and you can see notebook paper underneath it. I think this was a leftover tag from my junk mail journal that didn't go in. And see, here's that really just, it's so dainty, so, you know, interesting. You could put a picture underneath it and then journal on top of it. Again, just to fill in a little bit right there, that stamp. This is the napkin. This is a little bead that I cut out, and just a little bit of, you see, I want to give journaling space or anything you want to do, but it looks real blank when you sometimes put it there, so I use a stenciling. My new favorite napkins are these birds, and from G.I. Kerr there, she used some gesso, and you can't really see it, but sometimes it adds a little interest, because you know how sometimes when you have your coffee stained, it's hard to get the little spots of interest. So this is, I put a little gesso just to add a little dimension, and you can't really see it until you're really close, right up there. Here's a bag with another card in here. This lady, I remember these giant rose bushes. My grandmother used to have those, so this is, you know, like I said, secret garden with these giant roses. And people would just pose in front of them, especially around Easter or Mother's Day. And here is, again, a punch with, I put a little butterfly. And again, this is the back of the card. You are in my thoughts, and I just left it that way. And you can see all the little detail. The back, my friend Mary Jane gave me a bunch of these borders. And here, the leftover paper, I put some napkin. This is from the junk mail, my punch, and it just goes in there. And you can do something behind the tag. And I've talked to you about how I stencil. And this is that stationery paper. Stationery paper is very thin. And there you see my lace, and this is the other side of the journaling of that wildflower journal. And on this side, this is an embellished paper clip to keep this flap open. So you pull it up, and it will open up. It's a little bit thicker paper. And this is, again, you know what I've been using because this is my new favorite. And this is from a closed tag Charisma. And I just put a sticker and some paper to cover everything. And, well, let me take it off because you see how pretty it is? This is the back of that wildflower journal. I put a rose there just kind of peeking out. And it could stand just like that. But here are the tags to go with this. And here's Charisma. And you see how the flap goes up because it's a little heavier paper. So I just had some lace oops, let me get that in there. See how I started turning them. And anyway, it goes in there really nice just to keep that so flap down. Again, the Girl in the Swing. This is just a flap. And this is covering one of the embellished paper clips. I think I have 3 of them. And it holds another embellished paper clip right here. And as when I open it, again, the stickers with some die cuts, lace, and punches. So let me get it out, is it has one of these pockets. It folds out. So you have a lot of journaling there. And then it looks like one of those diagonals that everybody has been making. And here, again, printable right here. And this is one of Mary Jane's. And this is just a printable I had floating around. And to keep it all down, I use my embellished paper clip. Let me make sure it's down there. And it just goes in there just like that. And because I wanted to kind of cover it up, it's big, so I just put a little booklet there. And if you don't like this, I've started even covering this side of, you'll see one that I covered because it looks a bit utilitarian there. And it kind of clashes a little bit with the softness of this. So anyway, you can keep it like this, journal like that. Here's the doily. There, talked about this. Again, this is, I don't know, did I show it on the other side? Bias tape, and this is just some punch, and I just think it looks so pretty, much prettier than I would have thought. And here is the other side. It reminds me of Jack and the Beanstalk. And this is an embellished paper clip. And this is, I didn't put anything there. I just thought it looked pretty. But this is what I did on this side, because you know how I just told you it looks utilitarian? I just put a little bit, a little card, a little bit of lace, and a little gem and some yarn, so it doesn't look so harsh, if you see what I mean. And this, the printables, oh, what's her name? Innkeeper. And so I thought that looked kind of pretty there. And this is fun. This is another one of G.I. Kerr's tutorials. This is an envelope that you've taken apart and you open it, and it is like you can journal inside of it. And inside of this one there are 2 tags, and I believe right here you could put this in, there's a place so you could put another tag. I just didn't. And then you put it all back in and you just tie it. And I just think this is an envelope, and you know envelopes will come apart once you are soaking them. And so as I soaked, and then the glue loosens, and then you can carefully take it apart, or if you wish, make one. But this was from an invitation, so those are, you know, those invitations, and of course I'm not going to take the time to tie it right now. And again, the gesso on the music paper. Here's some lace, leftover pieces of napkin just to give it like an interest right there. At the end, it comes right here some scrapbooking paper. And here are 2 more tags. And I make most of my tags, about 80% of my tags. And there you see a die. You see, again, the napkin. This came from a magazine. You could put another secret, I think. Let's see if this, I don't know, I kind of, is it on this side? But anyway, You could put a tag in there. It was supposed to be opened on this side, but I might have gotten accidentally glued, so I'll see what happens there. And this is this journal. This is part 2 of the second journal, and as you look at it, it's very different from the other one. There are some components, like any journal, that are the same, but it looks very different. And but I did enjoy GI Kerr's tutorials. They added some interest, I think, to this journal. The journal is 33 pages. If you count both sides, it's 66. There's about 30 tags of different sizes, and there are 3 embellished paper clips. So again, this is my duplicate that doesn't, I don't think, look like a duplicate. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.